In this video, I'm going to look at a simple Flask app that uses a session. There's going to be two routes, a logon form and a welcome screen. And uh, we're going to use the existence or non-existence of a session variable to make sure that anybody trying to access the welcome route has come through the logon. And so long as they've logged on and the session is still going, then they are welcome to go to the welcome screen. Okay, so let's just run it and then let's see. Okay, so I'm coming up, and now it's going to start with the logon screen. But I have a button here that's trying to take me, as you can see down at the bottom there, that button, there's like on the, what is that, the lower left page, that button is a hyperlink trying to take me to the welcome screen, but I don't go there. It doesn't go there. And if I come up into the address bar and type in the welcome route, I also don't go there. But if I establish some session, I'll use my email and then some secret password. I'm not even checking the password. And I log in. That's establishing a session, and then that session allows me to come to welcome. So now I can get to welcome. And now that session still exists, so I can let me open up some other tab. There's some other tab. I can remember that and close it, and then but that this browser was still open, and so I can come back to the welcome screen. So long as, but now I've closed it, so I've lost my session, and I'm back to, I can't go to the welcome. So session variable. So if I go through the logon, that establishes a session, and then can go to the welcome form and move back and forth to the welcome form so long as I don't close the browser. But if I close the browser, I lose the session, then I'm forced back to the logon. Welcome won't let me on. Okay, so let's see how we're doing this. So in the form, I've got a submit field, a string field, and a password field. So in the password field is just that text field, but it's showing the user the stars. Okay. So the username, the password, I'm giving validators of input required for the user. I have also a length requirement, and then password is a password field. That's why I was seeing the sort of asterisks or something. And then the submit field is that button at the bottom. So that's the forms. The simple, the logon form just shows the username, shows the password and the button. So nothing terribly exciting there. There's a layout, there's a style. The form handler is just saying if a session with the username is defined, say hi, otherwise bad. We shouldn't see this. Something in the routing is blocking us from getting here, so we should never see this bad. But I just decided to put it into the Jinja anyway. So all the interesting stuff is happening here in app. And so this is just my reminders of how to run it command line. This logon form is what I showed you here, the logon form. It's an extension of Flask form, and then I import it over here. And then I have, I'm using Flask, render template URL for, I use that in the style, the request, the redirect, and session. I have the key. Usually if I have a form, I do the key thing. I'm redirecting the default route to the logon form. So that's why when I start up, I'm at the logon form. But that doesn't say, oh, and the layout must have the, or does the form. Yeah, here's the form had that navigate button to the welcome. That didn't work unless there was a session. Okay, so here we are back in the routing form. Here's the logon. I'm seeing if it was valid. So did the user enter some username? Was it long enough? Some password? I'm not even doing anything with the password. If I'm coming from the form, I'm taking the result username, which is whatever the user typed, provided it was long enough and short enough, longer than 4 and less than 30 or whatever it is that we said. And then I'm setting that up as the session variable. And then I am redirecting to the URL for welcome. So this is me moving to the welcome route. And if that's not true, then I'm going to the logon form. Okay, so that is handling, that's the form. If I'm not coming from the form, I go to the form, and if I'm coming from the form, I'm going to establish a session variable and go over to welcome. Now here is my welcome route, and I'm asking if username belongs to the session. So the session is sort of this behind the scenes set of key value pairs, at least one key value pair. And so if user, not even, doesn't even matter what the username is, so long as the person went through the user screen and established a username, if it exists as a session, then we move on to the what I call the logon form handler, which was my welcome screen with the title welcome and the header welcome. And otherwise, else I'm sending them back to the logon form. So that was that. We saw that we come here. If I try to go to welcome, it's not letting me go. But if because I started up the server again, so it's even if I didn't close the browser, if I start the server again, it's like it's new. But I can't get to welcome. I keep being sent back. But if I set up something, Fred and Fred, okay, so long as I have something, then I get over to my welcome screen, Fred, and I can go back, but now I can go to welcome because I have the session started and I don't need the username and I don't need the password. So long as I've established the session, I can get to welcome. And so that's just a little playing with the idea of session and with the sort of idea of establishing a user, a logging on. Thanks for your attention.